After violating my wife, the robber sitting there began to speak comforting words to her. Of course, I couldn't speak. My whole body was tied fast to the root of a cedar. But meanwhile, I winked at her many times as much as to say, "Don't believe the robber." I wanted to convey some such meaning to her, but my wife, sitting dejectedly on the bamboo leaves, was looking hard at her lap. To all appearance, she was listening to his words, and I was agonized by jealousy. In the meantime, the robber went on with his clever talk, from one subject to another. The robber finally made his bold brazen proposal. "Once your virtue is stained, you won't get along with your husband, so won't you be my wife instead? It's my love for you that made me violent toward you."
Certainly, it was I who found the body. This morning, as usual, I went to cut my daily cut of cedars when I found the body in a grove. The exact location? About 150 meters off the Yamashina Stage Road. The body was lying flat on its back, dressed in a bluish silk kimono and a wrinkled headdress of the Kyoto style. A single sword stroke had pierced the breast. The fallen bamboo blades round it were stained with bloody blossoms. You asked me if I saw a sword or any such thing? No, nothing, ma'am. I found only a rope at the root of a cedar nearby. And well, in addition to a rope, I found a comb. That was all. Apparently, he must have made a bottle of it before he was murdered because the grass and fallen bamboo blades had been trampled down all around.
The man that I arrested, he is a notorious brigand called Tajumaru. When I arrested him, he had fallen off his horse. He was groaning on the bridge at Awataguchi. The time? It was in the early hours of last night. For the record, I might say that the other day I tried to arrest him, but unfortunately he escaped. He was wearing a dark blue silk kimono and a large plain sword. And, as you see, he got a bow and arrows somewhere. You say that this bow and these arrows look like the ones owned by the dead man? Then Tajumaru must be the murderer.
Please help me. My daughter is missing. Her name is Misago. She is a beautiful, strong-willed 19-year-old. She is married to Kanazawa no Takehiro, a 26-year-old samurai from Okasa. My daughter has never been with a man other than Takehiro. Please, please help me find my daughter.
While the criminal talked, my wife raised her face as if in a trance. She had never looked so beautiful at that moment. What did my beautiful wife say in answer to him while I was sitting bound there? I am lost in space, but I have never thought of her answer without burning anger and jealousy. Truly, she said, "Then take me away with you wherever you go."
The time? Certainly, it was about noon yesterday, sir. The unfortunate man was on the road from Sekiyama to Yamashina. He was walking towards Sekiyama with a woman accompanying him on horseback, who I have since learned was his wife. A scarf hanging from her head hid her face from view. All I saw was the color of her clothes, a lilac-colored suit. Her horse was a sorrel with a fine mane. The lady's height? Oh, about 4 feet 5 inches. Since I am a Buddhist priest, I took little notice about her details. Well, the man was armed with a sword as well as bow and arrows. And I remember that he carried some 20-odd arrows in his quiver. Little did I expect that he would meet such a fate. Truly, human life is an evanescent, as the morning dew or a flash of lightning. My words are inadequate to express my sympathy for him.
That man in the blue silk kimono, after forcing me to yield to him, laughed mockingly as he looked at my bound husband. How horrified my husband must have been! But no matter how hard he struggled in agony, the rope cut into him all the more tightly. In spite of myself, I ran stumblingly toward his side. Or rather, I tried to run toward him, but the man instantly knocked me down. Just at that moment, I saw an indescribable light in my husband's eyes. Something beyond expression. His eyes make me shudder even now. That instantaneous look of my husband, who couldn't speak a word, told me all his heart. The flash in his eyes was neither anger nor sorrow, only a cold light, a look of loathing. More struck by the look in his eyes than by the blow of the teeth, I called him in spite of myself and felt unconscious. In the course of time I came to, and found that the man in blue silk was gone. I saw only my husband still bound to the root of the cedar. I raised myself from the bamboo blades with difficulty, and looked into his face, but the expression in his eyes was just the same as before.
I killed him, but not her. It was quite easy. I became their traveling companion. I told them that I had dug an old mound in a mountain and found many swords and mirrors and buried them in a grove behind the mountain, and I'd like to sell them at a low price. The man come and see with no objection because of greed. And as we walked toward the grove, I seized him from behind. When I disposed him, I went to his woman and asked her to come and see him. As she saw her husband, she drew a small sword and kept on slashing me. But I'm Tajamaru. I managed to strike down her small sword. I untied the rope in the man's hand and told him to cross swords with me. Nobody under the sun has ever clashed swords with me 20 strokes. But when he fell, I turned towards her, but she ran away. I decided it was a matter of life and death to me. I ran off to the mountain road. I found her horse, but before I entered town, I had already parted with the sword. Well, I killed him. That's all my confession.